Salute and welcome to the channel. So for this video, I want to do a few things. I'm not too sure how long the video is going to be. I wanted to kind of give my initial thoughts on the Mary Sue character that's in Tekken 8 that just recently been released. I believe she's currently in early access. I also want to do a little bit of speculation as to where I personally feel the Tekken franchise as a story is going to go based on what we know of the Mary Sue character. And I was kind of tinkering a little bit with Lydia in the practice mode. And yeah, she's definitely a brain rot bullshit character, right up there with Anna. And just wanted to show just what I've come across. It's nothing super high level, but it just kind of reinforces my position on why I say Tekken 8 is very, very bad when it comes to character balancing. So hopefully, if by the end of this video, if you are new to my content, you will hit that subscribe button and the bell notification and all the other good stuff that helps us smaller creators. So anyway, let me just go and just show the Tekken, the main menu, whatever. So you can see I'm Tekken God with this character Raven, you know, for those that care about ranks in this game. So at present, I don't own Mary Sue. In fact, I don't own any character. I think, well, actually, no, correction. I do own Fakamram, only because I am a fan of Muay Thai. When I did my little bit of research on the Mary Sue character, for me, the character is a bit of a joke. It's kind of a joke character. I've often referred to this character as an anime RPG style character, and I understand that there are people that absolutely love Tekken 8, and I respect you guys. You know, like you will never hear me say, you know, for somebody to not play this game. Like, I have my own personal issues with Tekken 8, and I think if you have been following my content for some time, you will know that my issues largely stem from the heat and rage system, with good reason, by the way, as I think I'll probably even demonstrate that later on in this video. So I want to at least take this moment. I guess this will be like a chapter where I'm actually acknowledging the good things that I find about Tekken 8, just for those people that might come across the video and say all Red does is bitch and complain and he hates Tekken and there's nothing he likes. I want to dispense with that bullshit. So number one, I do think that it is very good and commendable that the Namco development team, they definitely take representation very seriously. There's so many different characters in this franchise from all regions of the planet, and I do think that is commendable. I think that is something that should be applauded, irregardless on how the character takes form. But to have a character from, like, you know, I guess Saudi Arabia, another character from, you know, Japan, like, you understand what I'm saying. So this character Mary Sue is from Madagascar. Personally, I don't really know much about that region, but apparently, you know, her style of martial arts is a real thing. I've never heard of it. Merengue. I've never heard of it. I don't know the legitimacy of it, but you know, it probably is. I'm probably just ignorant to it, and that's fair. Also, I always give credit to the development team on their robust practice mode. In fact, I feel that this is one of the best practice modes I've ever played, and I've been playing fighting games for like almost all my life. I believe that the character designs are very, very high level. I think that the amount of assets and time and involvement needed to create these Tekken 8 characters are very, very stunning. They're truly next level. I will definitely give them that. I will also say that many of the characters' attack animations, not all, I mean, you know, especially those that are more so rooted in martial arts, like Feng Wei and characters like him, you know, I do appreciate the choreography that went into, you know, bringing those moves from real life into the game. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate some of the music. I'm sure we each have our own favorite Tekken 8 tune. There are a few tunes from Tekken 8 I do like to work out to, jump rope to, work out to, basically. You know, so there are things that I do appreciate about the game. However, this is kind of where it just kind of goes to hell for me. And I've said this many times in prior videos where I said the minute it says round 1 fight, I just feel that the game goes to shit. The game has absolutely horrific character balancing. I don't know who the Namco devs got to playtest their game. I don't think they got anybody. I jokingly say at times I think they got their next door neighbors. I don't believe they really had a dedicated consensus of top level players to come in to the game during its development cycle to really try out to see to get some measure of balance. Now, I'm well aware that in a fighting game or just about anything that's competitive, it's very difficult to have a game that's balanced. There's always going to be some character or some gun in a first-person shooter that's going to be better than something else. But what you try to do is you try to limit the more obscene, egregious, bullshit, broken characters or guns, if we're talking about first-person shooters. And in Tekken 8, I strongly believe that they failed in that regard. When you have characters like, you know, Lydia, Anna, and a couple other characters I can just rattle off the top of my head that, you know, they definitely need to be addressed. And given the type of balance updates I have seen from the devs for the short lifespan of Tekken 8, it does not fill me with the confidence that come season 3 that things are just going to magically get better. Now, could season 3 be better? Yes, anything is possible. But based on what I have seen so far with the recent updates that we have had from dating back to season 1, I honestly, you know, I'm just not too convinced. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, you know. So I would like things to change, you know what I'm saying? I won't even lie. But to what degree will it change? Honestly, I just don't know. I don't know if anything meaningful will change for this franchise. I really don't. You know, I look at the Mary Sue character and it's a little bit too early to determine whether or not she's absolutely broken or whatever. It's a little bit too early to tell, but as far as I'm concerned, the character is a bit of a joke character. It kind of reminds me of Lucky Chloe. For those of you that may remember that character, I actually believe that character was pretty good. The character was not trash. The amount of damage I remember that character could do is insane. I remember a move sequence where she could go back. I'm talking about Lucky Chloe now, Tekken 7. She can turn her back and she could do a California roll like Ling Xiaoyu, and she would thrust both her feet into your stomach region, causing a gut stun like Kazuya, and it would take obscene amounts of life, and the move was completely safe. So while Lucky Chloe was a joke character in design, she ended up she wasn't the best character in the game, naturally, but she was a pretty, you know, she wasn't the worst either. So when I look at this Mary Sue character here, I can't help but think this is going to be the same kind of deal. Now, Another thing I want to touch on is just her placement in the story. So, based on my understanding, she is I guess she's a vessel for Ogre, and Harada basically made an ass pull by saying that an ogre exists on every continent. Unless I'm, somebody in the chat, I mean, it's not the chat, the comment section can like let me know if I'm wrong. But if that is true, this is where I think the story of Tekken is going to go. I'm just going to lay it out here. We have Kazuya, Jin, Heihachi. We still have that three-way battle. We still have that. Okay. Akuma is nowhere to be found. I strongly feel that Akuma will make his return. I'm a little bit bullish with that. But I will say I have two branching paths that I want to talk about here as it pertains to Akuma. If Akuma is brought back, I see this going a few different ways. Since Harada has said that there exists an ogre on every continent or something along those lines, and the ogre that Mary Sue is allegedly tethered to or supposed to be a vessel to, it's definitely different than the ogre that we came to know back in Tekken 3 and in Tekken Tag and all that other stuff. Hence the design and all the other stuff. Okay, I understand that. So what I see happening is a potential Avengers type scenario where Akuma, Heihachi, Jin, Kazuya, they each set aside their personal vendetta against each other and band together to battle against these ogres. And the reason why, I know this might sound kind of strange, but the reason why I even come to this conclusion is because throughout the course of Tekken, like from Tekken 4, Tekken 5, I have seen in certain moments where Heihachi and Kazuya fought together. Heihachi and Akuma fought together. It was very brief. But they were faced against a singular threat that threatened both of them. And whether or not the development team decided to add that in purposely over the years for it to have a massive payoff like decades later, I don't know if I want to give them that credit. Maybe it was just happenstance and they're just like, you know what, we can use this. But I can see this being a possibility, especially when you factor in characters like Reina, who is aligned with Heihachi based on, what we know now. She has her own devil gene that throughout the course of the Tekken 8 story, she is looking to bring that to the surface. I am also believing that we will potentially see an additional Tekken 8 story campaign. And if we do, I feel like it's probably better if I would have wrote this down on a piece of paper, because there's several things that need to happen, and they're very circumstantial and scenario based. So I would just say, let's say scenario one. Scenario one, you have Akuma, Jin, Heihachi, whatever, and they're all fighting with each other to combat against the ogre threat, right? Since I do feel that this Mary Sue character is going to play a pivotal role, if not in the Tekken 8 story, but I do feel in Tekken 9 for sure. I am very sure that Mary Sue is going to play a major role for Tekken 9. I do think that they're using her as kind of like a setup. We're already getting the notion that she is a vessel, quote unquote, for her continent's ogre. And who knows when the rest of these ogres will activate, what's going to trigger them. Could it be the devil gene? Who knows? but I can see a potential story arc where you have enemies that bond together to combat against a greater threat. I do see that. I do see that. Now, if they decide to not add Akuma back into Tekken 8, I do feel that leaves a pretty massive plot hole, because now what of the whole story of Heihachi's wife, commissioning Akuma to hunt him down? What happened between Akuma and Kazuya? What happened in their fight? We know that they lived, but we don't know how. We don't know the X's and O's. So I think now I understand, of course, that Akuma is not a Namco character. I do believe that Namco does have a good relationship with Capcom, and I do believe that Capcom did benefit from having Akuma in Tekken 7. So I don't think it is a stretch to have Akuma added into Tekken 8, especially since if we're going with Street Fighter 6, Akuma has gained in power. He has gained stronger. He has become stronger. So the Akuma I can see them bringing into Tekken 8 or possibly Tekken 9 would be the Street Fighter 6 Akuma. But I mean, this story can go multiple different ways, but right now, this is kind of what I'm seeing, because while I have next to no interest in this Mary Sue character, I think she's a bullshit joke character, but her connection to Ogre, while it does piss off many of my fellow OGs, and it is kind of a bit of an ass pull from Harada, but because there's nothing we can do about it, it's here. So knowing the story that they're looking to tell with her, there's no way I can see her not playing a factor in Tekken 9 coming up. Because here's another thing. If she is a vessel for her continent's Ogre, then what about the other continents? What about the other continents? And who can potentially be that particular Ogre's vessel, if they're gonna go with that? So I do think Namco narratively, they do have options when it comes to where the story can go, even though we know that Harada and Murray, Tekken 9 will be their last. But that does not mean that Tekken 9 will be the final game in the franchise. And I highly doubt it, because it's like Final Fantasy and Dragon Ball. Like, you're not going to get rid of it because they make a lot of money. Those franchises make a lot of money. That's the reason why they've gone on for so long. And I do feel that even without Harada and Michael Murray, I do see the Tekken franchise going past Tekken 9. And I do see, I can't say 100%, but I do see the Mary Sue character, at least her status as being a vessel, being a significant role. And like I said just a few moments ago, I do think that if they want to talk and highlight the other ogres, since apparently there are multiple of them, this is the reason why I say it's a bit of an ass pull from Harada, because he just kind of came out of left field and said this. But if we're going along with that, the other ogres on the other continents, again, who might be those characters, and will they, if they are vessels, because we will be seeing new characters moving forward. And will those characters, the new ones, will those new characters be vessels for that particular continent's ogre? That's my question. Or could we also possibly see returning characters? Maybe they got corrupted somehow, and maybe they are now a vessel for an ogre. Who knows? I am interested. But in terms of her, the character itself, I have absolutely no interest in that character whatsoever. Absolutely none. But that's you know, pretty much my thoughts relating to the Mary Sue character and just kind of like where I feel the story can go. And I do feel that this could potentially, you know, be a good discussion in the comments section. You know, obviously I'm just speculating like any of you would, but I do think I can see this, my speculation having legs, even if it's without Akuma. But I do feel strongly that Akuma will make a return. But for my storyline take to manifest, it does not need Akuma, but I think it would make it even better, because if Akuma was present, like I said, Akuma, Jin, Heihachi, Kazuya all banding together to, you know, and maybe Reina as well, and other characters that were all enemies banding together to fight against the ogre threat and their vessels, perhaps. I think I can see the story going in that direction. But definitely let me know what you think about that and your own theory as to where you think the Tekken 8 storyline is going. Now, to kind of, I wanted to show something else as it relates to the game itself. I'm gonna pick Lydia, this bullshit ass character, and of course, you know, I'm gonna pick Raven because I've said many times, and I will maintain my position that Raven he's a character that needs a lot of work. But if the rest of the cast is addressed and nerfed appropriately, then I do feel that the Raven character as he is would be fine. So it's just a few things I've noticed with Lydia. Now, I am not a Lydia main, and I am not an expert with this character. I know how to fight against her to a degree, but just some things I've noticed. So I think I still have him. I was working on him before. Okay, so now, remember when I said that every move that Raven has, there's a character that has a better version of that move? Look what I found with this character. So Lydia has back two. Now, for all you Raven players, doesn't this move look familiar? Doesn't this move look familiar? Looks familiar to me. This move looks very familiar. This is back two from Lydia. So I'm gonna show you back two from Raven, just for those that may not realize. So it's back two from Raven. Back into photo mode. So this is Raven's. This is Raven's back two. Basically, it is essentially the same move. They're both high, but just to kind of show you, let me put Raven to block and just show you the hypocrisy of design here. So Lydia, her back two comes out at 13 frames and it's -9 on block, so it's completely safe. And on hit, it does 14 damage and it's +1. So now we're gonna go over to Raven's back two. And so Raven's back two is 15 frames, okay? And it's -3 on hit. And it does 12 damage. So already we're looking at Lydia's back two being 14 damage to Raven's 12 damage. Hers comes out at 13 frames. Raven's comes out at 15 frames. And the most important thing of all is that Lydia's back two is safe at -9, and Raven's, for some ungodly reason, is -14. Namco, Harada, Nakatsu, why is Raven's back two -14? Oh, okay. So you want us to use this, right? This is what you want us to do. That's fine. You want us to do back 2-2. Okay, that's fine. Now, here's the deal. Most Raven players know, let me just kind of reset her, take her off block, that if the opponent is interrupting, let's say if your opponent is mashing, if they block the first hit and the second hit lands on counter hit, you're +8, and then you can do this. Okay, now on normal hit you're +6. So that's why when Raven is actually, hold up, put opponent counter. So when Raven lands this on hold on, I'm getting turned around here. Okay, so when Raven lands this on counter hit, you can see it's +8, and then that's guaranteed. As you see, it's 3. It's 3 hits, and it does 50 damage. Okay. Now, this is just an observation, right? We're just gonna put Raven onto attack. I believe this one is for 1-2 punches. Let me see. Yep. Okay. So Lydia can do this. Now this stun right here that you're seeing, this right here, this stun right here. See this stun? I want you to pay close attention to this stun, right? Raven as a character does not have any single move that places his opponent in this state. Raven does not have any attack in his arsenal in Tekken 8 that affords you as the Raven player to place your opponent in that particular critical gut stun state. And on top of that, like I've said in a prior video, Raven does not have a safe down forward 2. Raven does not have a viable up forward 4 hop kick. Even this chick has it. And with all of the bullshit she has, like, why the fuck does she need a hop kick? And I've always said that about certain characters. Like when I look at a character like King, why the fuck does King need a hop kick? Like, and not only is it a hop kick, it's a knee lift, so you can't really attack reversal it. Like I said, this game has so many different, I'm just almost over it. I'll just say this right now. If I was not a content creator, this game would have been wiped off of my Series X hard drive like yesterday. Like it would have been so fast deleted from my hard drive. But because I'm a content creator, that's the only reason why this shit is on my system. But I digress. So another thing, when you look at those type of stuns I just shown, like back 2-3, she also has, I believe, was it down this? So she has another gut stun like this. She has quite a few actually. I forget the other one she has, but she has quite a few. And I'm just like, why would you not give Raven not one of these? You know, this is why I say Raven in his current form against characters like this dumb bitch, it's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, it really is. You know. Oh, that's the other stun. Yeah, so it's a forward, I forgot about it. It was forward 3-2. So look at this. Now, I don't know the combo, obviously. You know, I don't know what she can do, but I know it's whatever she can do is probably very damaging because you're in a position where you can't do nothing. You're in a position where you can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I just find it so bad that Raven does not have any move in his arsenal that affords you that state. I just think that's absolutely ridiculous. And then another thing, this whole thing with Lydia being able to mix between a forward 2, which is 13 frames, and a while running 1, why does she have this? Who decided that this was a great idea? You give her a while running attack, which we all know in Tekken 8, it's like next to easy to do. They definitely dumb down the ability to do this move. So basically, you have a 13 frame high that puts you at +6, and then you can mix that in a perfect mix-up with forward 2 at +5. Like I don't understand this, and God forbid, let me see, if it's a counter hit, all of this is guaranteed, and now you're in heat. Like, this is crazy to me, crazy. And then on top of that, and I know a lot of characters has these type of things, like that bullshit character Asuka, but do people forget that Lydia has attack reversals? Like, do people like forget this? I don't. Like, she actually has attack reversals. Like, get on the wall. Oh, okay, this one doesn't put you on the wall. Well, like, let's see. Well, it definitely puts you in a very poor position, but the one thing it does put you against the wall is this. So her up back 1, or just up 1. This move is completely safe, and you can loop it into each other, I believe. Okay, no, you can't. But if it's a slower move, you probably could. But yeah, you can do stuff like this. Oh, that's another gut stun. I totally forgot about that. Down forward 1-4. In fact, I actually wanted to talk about that real quick and compare it to something that Raven has. But let me just finish off with this point here. So, okay, so we jab. That's an easy setup. That is not hard to land on somebody. I'm sorry. It is not hard to land on somebody. And then, hold on. What if you do this in heat? Let me see. Can you do her heaven and earth from that? Oh, yeah, you can go from that. So yeah, and also, not that I forgot about this one. I think I have him set up to go low, right? Yes. Okay. So this. So she has an actual low parry Sabaki that also does massive damage and also wall splat you. So I'm like, does anybody, like, I don't think anybody, I don't know, man. I think this is just so ridiculous. And then she has, what else does she have? She has a back 1 that's +2. This is a move that is very easy to abuse. A move like this has pretty good range. You look at it, it has very solid range. 18 frames is not a super slow attack, especially for something that's mid, that's +2, and it's a heat engager, and it does chip damage. And her down forward 1 is pretty strong. Her down forward 1 game is 13 frames, and it's -5. So again, we can do stuff like this, right? So if you're trying to mash because you don't want me to do it again, well, I can just do stuff like this. I can do that, and then there's a mix-up at +11. Or I can just do this in case you mash, and there's that kick. Like, it's just really ridiculous. And speaking about this, which is down forward 1-3, Raven, let's look. We all know this one. We all know this one. Down forward 1-4, this right here. So basically, her down forward 1 is 15 frames. His is 14 at -2. Now he has better recovery. However, the follow-up, this is -13. The same with her kick. The same with the kick that I just shown. I'll show it again. This move right here, that kick, that is -13. I'll show it, -13, right? You see, -13. However, if you look at what she gets if the opponent mashes, it's absolutely insane. So her -13 option out of her down forward 1 completely shits all over what Raven can do to you. Because if you happen to mash, okay, so if I record that and if I choose to mash, okay, so I just lost 30 damage. I just lost 30 damage by mashed, and I can roll away. So basically, I get hit with a counter hit shadow clone from Raven that takes 30 damage. Of course, if it's near the wall, it's a wall splat, but out in open field, I can just roll away. Raven gets no additional pressure. However, just to show it again, if you mash on Lydia's down forward 1, you get a full death combo. I just think it's just absolutely ridiculous, man. And then, and then of course you got to deal with her install. I didn't even talk. Like I said, I'm not a Lydia master. I'm not a Lydia main, but I'm pretty sure any of you guys that have been following my channel and you follow Tekken, you already know how bullshit this character is. But just for shits and giggles, just to kind of show it off, yeah. So we got this. Why did you lose 74 damage off of a third? So basically, think of it this way. When she's in heat, not only are you dealing with this type of nonsense, okay, this type of nonsense, you're also having to deal with the fact that she can basically do a 13 frame attack and get all of this damage, all of that damage. Like that's insane. Insane. And it's like, okay, yeah, okay, well, and then of course you're gonna say, oh, well, you could just sidestep. Bro, she has things for you if you try to sidestep. I mean, like, even her, I think even some of her sidestep moves. Let me look at this real quick. This, what move she has? So this is a homing move. It's a high. Okay, I expect this to be safe at -3, but she has another move. She has that move. Now this is a good a move here. 17 frames. It's a high though, and it's +5 and it's tracking. But she had another. How do you do this? There was another move she did. See, this is where I'm just kind of like, I don't really. It was oh, here it is. Down forward, both kicks. This move is 22 frames. It's homing, and it's safe. So it's safe. So if you are trying to do your little side steps, okay, well, she has stuff for you. So I understand that there are Lydia players that want to downplay your character. I get it, but I'm sorry. Like, this character, it's bullshit. The character's bullshit. And she's not the only nonsensical character in this game. It's just I've said it many times before that this game is it is designed for the casual crowd. This is the reason why I say that this game is a party game. This is the reason why I say what I say. And I will close out with this. I will close out with this, right? If you're the type of person that you really enjoy this game, you really enjoy Tekken, that's fine. I'm happy for you. You enjoy Mary Sue or Miary Zo, you enjoy that character, hats off to you. Like, I'm not here to dissuade people from playing Tekken. You play whatever you want to play. But as somebody that has been playing this franchise for 30 years, soon to be 31 actually, and somebody that's competed across the country, you know, I've seen everything in this game, and I've seen just about everything in fighting games in general. This game, the minute it says round 1 fight, this game is, the game is shit for me. It's absolute shit. I'm just be honest. Now, would my opinion change if they were to actually bring in my character, Lei Wulong, that I've competed with for many, many years and traveled to many different states and represented using him, maybe. It would definitely be an adrenaline shot for me, but it wouldn't change the fact that this game is designed the way it's designed. Another thing I want to show is simply this, and I want to do this before I close out the video. Let me just go back into the screen real quick. Let me see. Yeah, so let me just go and show this, right? So if I throw a jab, actually, no. I gotta set, let me set Raven to throw one jab. I want to just show this example because this correlates to like rage arts and things of that nature. Yeah, let me see something. All right, so you see here, so the premise that I want to illustrate here is that you can challenge a lot of these types of moves. Like, so you have a heat burst, right? So you blocked, okay. What's the other one? An armor. What's our armor move? Okay, here's an armor move. You can block armor, right? However, you throw out a jab for a rage art, you're gonna watch a cutscene. And this is the reason partly why I have been saying in several videos that I absolutely hate the heat and rage system. But out of the two, I hate rage arts with a passion because there's no direct challenging this. Even if you throw a jab, you throw a low, you throw a grab, you are going to watch a cutscene. Whereas if you were to do the same thing with a heat burst, you know, your character can block right afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So there's a little bit of counterplay there. Now, of course, yeah, your idea is to just move around, but what I've had some people in my comment section on videos where I've talked about rage arts, where they have basically said, well, it's your fault for pressing buttons, it's your fault for being aggressive, it's your fault this, that, and the other. Oh, and this another idiot that was in the comment section who said, oh, well, he mentioned something about me, my ego and my pride and also the shit. And I'm like, and what I will say to that idiot, if he happens to be watching this segment, why would my pride and ego be bruised in a game losing to somebody who is using a one input crutch that is gifted for scrub / beginner / casual players to bail them out? That's not me getting outplayed. That's just them relying on a Hail Mary gimmick that Namco decided to give that type of player, that they cannot get a legit comeback. They lack the skill and ability to mount a real comeback. They have to gift those types of players a one button help me, a one input help me mechanic that you cannot directly challenge. So yeah, it's I don't take pride in this game. I don't have ego with this game, really. So there's nothing for me to lose because I understand that this game is bullshit in terms of round one fight. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, there are many things about this game that does not involve that direct combat, like the look of the game, the graphics, the netcode I think is strong. So with all of that aside, when we get down to brass tacks, we get down to the meat and potatoes of this game, round one fight, you fucking one end of the screen, I'm at the other side, and we're battling it out. This aspect is bullshit. It is poorly designed. It has horrendous character balancing, and the designs like Mary Sue is a fucking joke anime RPG style character. It looks stupid. It looks hokey as fuck. And I just feel like if that was the best they could do for that to represent people of that, I'm sorry, I don't agree with it. But I'm happy for those that got their representation, but the character itself, I'm not a fan of. I'm just being honest. If that sets you the wrong way, if you're watching my content the first time, I'm sorry. Maybe there's some other videos on my channel that might appeal to you. But I only know how to keep it real. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna bullshit nobody. The Mary Sue character, the design, I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the design. I'm not a fan of the personality. I'm not a fan of the fantastical moves. Even when people want to use the argument of, well, Yoshimitsu existed in Tekken 1, and you had Gun, you've had Dr. B. What those people are trying to do, they're trying to say that, yeah, we've had those types of characters in the past. And while I will say, yes, Yoshimitsu has always had his sword, you've had True Ogre breathing fire, you've had the little stupid dinosaur, but it was widely understood that the vast majority of those elements, of those particular characters, were gimmicky troll characters. In fact, if we want to go back to Tekken 3 with a lot of Yoshimitsu's sword attacks, if you got hit by those type of moves, you deserve to get hit by them. Those are moves you use to troll your opponent. Those unblockables that took like 20 years to come out. But now they have it to where it's like an actual part of his gameplay, him being Yoshimitsu. And when you factor in like heat to where now a lot of those stupid moves that were dumb back then, now they hit you like twice as fast and lead to full fucking combos. Now it's a problem. Giving characters guns, nunchucks, all this hokey bullshit. Like, so like I said, if you love Tekken 8, I'm happy for you. I'm not bullshit. I am always happy for somebody that is playing something that they enjoy, that they love. However, it is not criminal for me, especially on my own platform, to speak on the many issues that I see that the Tekken 8 game has, especially from a gameplay, or should I say a game mechanic standpoint. Okay, this game is originally intended to be based off of aggression, but again, you give this type of move here that basically kills aggression. So like, which is it? You know what I'm saying? You know, and like I've said many times before, you could have just gave a Rage Art the same weaknesses as a Heat Burst and an Armor Attack. And while it would still be a bit annoying, it's a lot more manageable, and the game would be a little bit more better suited to its aggression theme. But like I said, man, I can go on and on with this game, and I don't know. But to close off with this, I haven't fought the Mary Sue character yet. I'm thinking about doing a suffering stream sometime this weekend. So I'm pretty sure if I follow through with that, I'll give like a heads up 24-hour notice to let people know, those of you that might be interested in seeing me get frustrated and annoyed by this dumbass game in a live stream. You guys can tune in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll be fighting the Mary Sue army, much like I did when Armor King was released, and I fought nothing but, well, predominantly Armor Kings. But yeah, so right now I think I'm gonna call this a video. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the rest of your day or your night, depending on whenever you see this. Let me know what you think in the comment section about my thoughts regarding the direction of the story. If you want to add to that, if you go along with my theories, and let me know your thoughts on this stupid Mary Sue character as well. Anyway, I'm out, and thanks for tuning in. Salute.